Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at how to care for and breed lobster roaches. Now this is going to go everything you need to know, including the enclosure size, food for the bugs, how to hydrate the bugs, the proper just care requirements surrounding the lobster roach, and then really what are the best parameters to get them to breed as fast as possible. Showing you guys step by step on how to do that with this new lobster roach order I just got, so we'll be going in depth on what I'm doing as far as the enclosure goes, where I'm going to be putting them, what foods I'm feeding them, things like that, and yeah, let's get right into it. Now, for some of you returning subscribers, which, by the way, if you guys are new here, if you could do me a huge favor, go down there, hit that subscribe button. On the road to 100,000, your boy. Oh, your boy really wants that silver play button. Let's make that happen for old Dakota here. You guys knew I already had some large colonies going of red runners, lobster roaches, and dubias. However, unfortunately, due to COVID, I was unable to secure any feeders whatsoever, and I actually diminished all of those colonies going. We only have, I believe, like 50 to 60 red runners, and that's it. Now, luckily, we are starting to rebuild now. We got the lobster roaches, and yeah, this is attempt number 2. Hopefully, we don't get a second pandemic that then just completely destroys all my feeder colonies and making me start back once again. Now, first things first, I just want to give a couple of warnings as far as lobster roaches go for you guys, to make sure that you guys understand these things. Number one, lobster roaches do climb. Unlike the dubia, lobster roaches can climb on pretty much any surface whatsoever. Glass, plastic, tubs, wood, stone, concrete, water. Maybe not that last one, but they can climb. They're pretty good climbers, and they are definitely escape artists. Which the escape artist actually brings us to my second point. If you guys didn't see this video already, you'll know that I have just a smidge infestation of lobster roaches going on in my house right now. So that's definitely something to look out for. While these guys do breed a bit quicker than the dubias, they are a bit more prolific. There are some setbacks with these guys that I want to make sure you're aware of before you even think about obtaining some lobster roaches. Okay, disclaimers out of the way. Let's get started. Step 1 is going to be your enclosure. Now, personally for me, I'm using a very large bin. What do we got here? We got a 108 quart bin. This is a bit overkill for lobster roaches. However, when I am going for the quantity that I'm going for, you want to get a pretty large bin. This is just something I'd laying around. As far as the starter bin goes, you can go with anything like a 56 quart bin, usually whatever the general crested gecko bins are. I believe those are the 56 quarts. You can get away with that using for lobster. However, if you are starting a larger colony or you're acclimating a couple of thousand roaches instead of just like usually what starter colonies are around a couple of hundred, I would recommend a larger bin. Personally, for me, I wanted the ones that have the little snap-in feature. You want to make this as sealed as possible. An extra precaution you can also take is rubbing some Vaseline over the edge. So for some reason, lobster roaches will not climb over Vaseline. Not sure why. I don't know the science behind that, but it is the truth. So a nice general line of Vaseline can make a little bit of a less escape artist. However, making sure these are clipped in, make sure there's no these little holes. I'll put some B-roll right here. The baby lobster roaches, they're going to run right out of this and they're going to infest your house. Trust me. This is a species you want on maximum security when it comes to the enclosure. Now that you got the bin all set up and secured, or as secured as you think you're going to be able to get it, next up we're going to add some egg carts. Egg cartons are awesome for them. Not only are they able to get a bit of a more hiding spot, of course lobster roaches enjoy a bit more of a dark secluded area versus that of a more light and open. That's why it's usually better to use a one of those solid bins rather than this transparent one that I'm using. However, this is just something I have left over and I'm not using, and you know, free is better than paying for it. So that's just kind of the route we're going to. Now, really, you want these things packed with egg crates. Not only, again, are they going to feel a little bit more secluded and secured within their enclosure, but also this is going to help whenever the lobster roaches do any droppings, you know, the poops. You don't want the poops on the roaches, so what's going to happen is it's just going to filter right down to the bottom. Makes it a little bit more easier to clean up at the end of the day, doing your deep cleans, things like that, while also making sure that the lobster roaches stay a little bit more healthy while the poop stays on the bottom, and of course the roaches themselves are going to stay on top of the egg crates. Alright, now that we got the egg crates in there and everything looking good, we gotta move on to the next step, which of course is going to be feeding and hydrating your lobster roaches. Now, here's the thing about lobster roaches. They can just destroy pretty much anything. Out of all the roach colonies that I've bred here at DVCB Exotics, the lobster roaches are the most destructive when it comes to food. Pretty much whatever I'm feeding my roaches, I give my lobsters double. I mean, like, I will take a sweet potato. One whole sweet potato out of a colony of about 500 plus, they can take that down in just a night, whereas something like a red runners or the dubias, that's gonna take double the time, and they wouldn't even get all of it. Lobster roaches are gonna destroy the skin, the fruit, whatever it is, the whole thing's gonna be gone. There's not gonna be any fruit carcass in there. It's gonna be just, there was a potato, now there's no potato. Now there's a variety of things you can feed roaches. Personally for me, a solid roach chow as a staple, and then obviously substituting with heavily on the fruits and veggies is always a good parameter to go to. Personally for me, my wife has this uneaten salad, so we are just gonna dump that in there for them. Now obviously these guys are gonna be breeders, so really there's some stuff in here like cheese, things like that, that might not be the very best for your roaches. However, of course, these are just gonna be breeders. We're actually gonna keep this bin alone for about a year before I touch it. We want these colonies to just explode. I want thousands upon thousands of roaches in here while not taking away a single one. So you can kind of get away with some of the stuff that's not so good in the beginning. However, if you are using this for a feeder bin right away, I would recommend sticking with a very low protein diet and a lot more fruits and veggies. Now watering is going to be another simple thing. Personally, I love using the little water gels you get. You can get these at any of your local feeder places, Rainbow Mealworms, Josh's Frogs, things like that. They're really not that expensive. I believe I paid like $10 for a 2-pound bag, and you just can use such a ridiculously small amount. I mean, I had just enough crystals to line the exact bottom, and it gives you this big of a bowl of them. They last forever. I probably get 6 months out of a 2-pound bag of water crystals. Really awesome and so easy. Just dump them in there. They'll eat it, and then you dump some more in. You don't need to worry about anything like drowning, anything like that. I highly recommend the water crystals over the other methods. All right, so this is actually gonna be half and half for the roaches. Some of these are gonna be for the lobsters. I'm gonna put the rest of my red runner colony, which is actually right behind us. Let's give us some of that yummy salad in there before we put these guys in. Yeah, let's just... yeah, there we go. Some nice variety of fruits and veggies. That's gonna be good for them. And all right, we got just a pretty basic standard lobster roach colony thing going on. Let's bring these roaches in, put them in. Let's do a little tour about, you know, the mansion that these lobster roaches are living in. And after that, I'll talk a little bit more of the care and breeding side for these guys now that we have the actual enclosure set up. Alright, so this is going to be your standard starter colony. We've got about 250 plus roaches, most of them being breeders and adults I can see. However, there are a couple of nymphs going on in here. I can see they also gave us some of the cleaner bugs, those, I can't remember what the cleaner beetle, the small cleaner beetles, and then the larvae. So we got a nice little microfauna going on top of the nymphs and adults. So let's pour these suckers in, and let's check out how they do. I do want to add, I understand it is very easy for the breeder in the cellar, but as a buyer, I hate the bags. I hate them, especially with stuff like lobster roaches. They've got these sticky Barbie legs that just grab onto you. They're gonna stay hell-bent in the bag. It's not something you can just, you know, dump out and you're good to go. You're gonna have to shake this, turn it inside out, wring it out for all these roaches. It's gonna be, well, it's gonna be a little interesting, unfortunately. All right, hopefully editing Dakota here can get us a nice little slow-mo. How the Actually, editing Dakota, maybe do a little fast mo of me opening this. How did they...
Okay, so let's start from the top.
Almost got it, almost got it. Oh, oh, oh! Got it. It was that easy. Set it up for the very dramatic slow-mo dumping. Okay, let's do this. Hey, 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 back, 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 heathens, back! This is an adventure when you do it with lobster roaches, man. This isn't, hey, 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 get back here, get back, back. Oh man, we really gotta put my hand in the bag. Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, that thing is huge. Oh, we're losing one, we're losing one. That is not a lobster roach. What the fuck is that? Is that an orange head? Okay, I think I got everything. Oh my God. Hey. Ah, damn it. Well, here comes an infestation in this building. Back. Back, heathen! Do you see that giant one down there? Oh, we're losing them. We're losing them. Oh, oh, oh. Let's just put you back where you belong, sir. All right, so I accidentally dumped these over where the water crystals are. We'll put this right here. But there you got it, a nice simple little lobster roach thing. We got the nice little veggies going on. We got some water crystals right there. I'm sure they will devour that in a little bit. And then we've got this nice cardboard or, darn it, looks like we got a few escapees. Looks like we're releasing some more tokay geckos. Tokay geckos for every room. I will, this is literally a war on lobster roaches at this point, folks. A nice simple little setup for the lobster roaches we got going on. Now let's dive in a little bit about the care and the actual breeding of the lobster roach. Now going into the care of the lobster roach, it's gonna be pretty easy, and there's a lot of similarities between the lobster roach and the dubia roach. Let's start off with heating. Now when heating the lobster roaches, they can breed at pretty much any temperature. You know, room temperature is able to breed. However, you are gonna get better production value in the temperature ranging from 80 to 90 degrees. Luckily in this building, in the summertime, it stays generally around 82 to 88 degrees in the highest, so I'm pretty set here. However, if you do live in just room temperature, you know, you maybe don't have a reptile building that maintains heat this high. You know, maybe you just have not an entire building dedicated to reptiles. I don't know why I think everyone would have one of these. And the best supplement heating for lobster roaches is going to be heat mat plugged into a thermostat, and then setting that thermostat anywhere from, again, around that 80 to 90 degrees, a little higher, a little cooler, however it is. Just make sure you're hitting that 85. Shoot for 85 degrees for the thermostat, and you're gonna have roaches that are gonna breed like crazy. Number 2, humidity. You wanna keep it around that 50% area. Again, this building stays very humid and very hot. I'm surprised there's like not wood rotting. But hey, that's another message for another day. Pretty much with this, just missing a couple of times a day. The water gel and the fresh food, so like fresh greens and fruits, are gonna help bump that humidity up a little bit. But missing it a little bit, just make sure you're not getting the egg crates too wet, because wet egg crates do mold, and that is gonna pose an issue for your colony. So a little bit on the rim, and maybe something like that. Again, those water gels, things like that. Just getting that ventilation and the humidity itself up to around that 50% area. And I think the last thing to be going over is food. We brushed on a little bit, but I'll hit it one more time at the end of this video. That's going to be fresh greens and fruits. There's a variety of things to feed. You can just look up any roach greens colony, but again, basically, pretty much what I do is whenever I feed my tegus and my bearded dragons, I'll just cut a little bit aside, or those scraps they don't eat go to my roaches, so it's a bit of a nice little life cycle going on, and it saves me a little bit of money. But there's a variety of fruits and greens you can do. There's also a multitude of commercial diets for roaches. Dubia lobsters. I do believe that lobsters can eat the dubia roach diet. If I'm wrong, put a comment down there, but I'm pretty sure a roach is a roach. Could be wrong though. That's about it. There's a multitude of different things. Personally for me, I don't do that. I focus mainly on greens, veggies, fruits, and then some dry food, occasionally some dog food, things like that, just to get them a little bit more pretty much a nice variety for my roaches. That's what I like to hit. And honestly, I think that is everything you need to know about lobster roach colonies. Let me know if I missed something, but you know, we got the food, we got the watering, we got the heating, we got the enclosure, we saw lobster roaches, we saw Dakota struggle with lobster roaches for about 2 minutes while they kept trying to escape. That's, I told you they escape, they climb. I mean, honestly, what more do you need to know about? Oh, sorry, I guess this video's gone on a little bit too long. My memory card on my camera ran out of battery, or memory. Anyway, that's about it, guys. You got the full roach care guy and the breeding guy. Pretty much all you're gonna wanna do now is just leave them alone for 6, 8, even 12 months at a time. I like to go about that year. You really want a really large colony. Every couple months, substituting with a couple things, diversifying the gene pool. If you just keep the same colony going, they'll eventually inbreed enough to where they'll start being a little bit deformed, things like that. You actually notice that with dubia roaches is that as the genetics keep going on and we keep inbreeding the roaches themselves actually get smaller and smaller and like more weak. I'll see if I can find a picture, but like a nice genetically bred dubia roach is usually around this big or so, and then the other ones are like this big. It's cool into comparison. So always make sure you're diversifying the gene pool with a steady colony to make sure that you're not going to have a genetic collapse from that. I almost fell from that inbreeding. Now, as always, folks, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this journey I like to call DBC Big's Eyes. Until next time, we will see you probably Friday, I believe, maybe Thursday, I don't know. That's a day that we might post, or maybe we won't post. Until then, goodbye.